Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Brickoligist Animations Show, where I, Jim, or the Brickologist, as many of you know me, often tackle many topics to do with the new Avengers saga, the Sonic the Hedgehog TLSMS extended universe, the amateur animators, my friends, my family, and loads more. Today, I have the real hamburger and George on the podcast to talk about the end of the year. So sit back, relax, enjoy that, and hello, boys. How are you?
Hello.
Hello, I'm all right. Yeah.
I'm not too bad.
Yeah, are you lads ever gonna get off my podcast?
Never.
Hopefully one day.
Oh man, like how we've actually, like, this trio here has done some amount of podcasts together like this year, haven't we? Like I'd say we've done at least 3 or 4 together.
Definitely.
No, definitely, and without cheesy as well. I think it's like
It's been a year since Cheesy was on the pod because, like, you and I, Rhydian, were we were here with Cheesy the last time we did this.
Yeah, that's true. And that was a year ago. Wow.
Yeah.
It's also like a year ago. Is it a year ago since the no birthday bash isn't a podcast, but
yeah.
Sorry, I think I'm getting stuff mixed up, but yeah.
No, you're completely right. Yeah, and even the birthday bash, like, that was 10 months ago. Like, it's closer to a year than it is, just a few months away. Like, so, yeah, it's. I suppose I should ask you two, but, like, before we kind of delve into the more filmmaking side of things, like, how was your year generally, Rhydian?
Generally, I'd say beginning of the year was a bit it was a bit of a mood. And then we got through the year, I kind of just got, like, it just got better really for me. So,
Yeah. What about you, George?
Quite the opposite. So, I mean, to Rhydian, my year started off very, very positive. It slowly dipped towards the end. However, overall, this has probably been one of my most adventurous and different and, like, memorable years. I have had a lot of fun, but there's also been some stuff that have probably shaped me without me probably even realizing it. So it's been a fun roller coaster of a ride, really. There's been the ups. I don't think I've ever felt more up and down ever. But overall, like, you can't complain because that's just life, and it's been interesting looking back on it. I had a good time. I got a lot done. So yeah, it was a pretty good year overall for me.
Yes. I mean, for myself, like, it was probably actually, similar to yours, George. But right now, I think, like, I do think, I've had way much more, like, to be thankful and positive about, like, no matter what. And yeah, like, it's I don't know. I'm happy enough at the end of the day with the way the year went generally. The last few months were turbulent, but yeah, December was good, like, and there was a lot of amazing stuff that happened this year for me. So I can't complain too much at the end of the day. But with that being said, boys, I suppose let's kind of recap our year in filmmaking now, and I mean, I suppose there's a good point to be had. Like, we'll move on. We'll move back to you, George, now. But, like, this time a year ago, you were only just incorporated into the group, George. How do you feel personally, George, about your first year in the Amateur Animators?
Personally, putting projects aside, I've really enjoyed it, my time here, and that kind of shows by how involved I've tried to be in the projects, because I find project making really fun, and I find voice acting very fun, and I've just had a great time. I think it went pretty well. I was featured in quite a lot of stuff. I made quite a lot of stuff. Definitely my most productive year, filmmaking concerned. Yeah, and it was definitely, like, filmmaking, just the amateur animators, it was a big highlight. Like in particular, meeting up with Rhydian and Cheesy for Dave Cow. That was loads of fun. But yeah, I loved it, every single second of it, and I hope to see more of the same next year, maybe even more. But we'll just have to see how it goes, because I will be busy, I imagine. But yeah, loads of fun.
Yeah, I mean, if we're to look back on your year in particular, George, so let's just, generally look across it. Like, early on in the year, you wouldn't have been up to too much. Like, you did play Wade Whipple in Sonic TLS though, which is very key. And then as it got towards the summer, it did kind of shift a little bit, because you played you made Evil, and there's no doubt, and I think you will agree with me on this, really, and that Stevel is one of the best projects within this group that's ever been made.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay.
Thank
I
you.
think as well, George, as Jim mentioned, the summer, I think it was a really good way to kick off the summer. So, I got to hand that to you.
Thank you. I remember making Steve like it was. God, that's May. Jeez, that's a while ago.
And like after that, then George, you played Kang the Conqueror in the crossover. You also played him in the Tales project, which is the prelude to that, and Stevel on the day it released as well, by the way. And like that was kind of your summer, and we obviously did a proper interview together. It was just you and I, and that was quite a good. Like, I remember that interview very fondly myself. So yeah, and when it comes to the latter half of the year, like, we didn't see you as much, I'd say, George, as maybe you would have liked to have been seen. But, we did still see you here or there. Like, you had Dave Cow, obviously, with Rhydian. You had, a Duty Detour. What else, like a few voice acting roles here or there. And, you capped off the year with Dave Cow 2, Locked and Loaded, and that wasn't a bad way to end the year. Now, that was decent enough. So, yeah, I think, for my opinion on you overall, George, like, I'm personally very happy with the way your year went. My Brickoligist Animations breakthrough star.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm very pleased with looking back on all I've done. I'd say I've done quite a bit this year, and so yeah, I'm very proud, very happy to have been so productive. So yeah, and although there were times of like it would dip and everything, I think overall I think I pretty much achieved my project goals for the most part. I mean, as I say, I slipped up here and there, occasionally not getting stuff out on time, or not getting stuff finished, but overall I'm quite happy.
Yeah, I think Rhydian, you would agree. I think we're both happy enough with the way, like, I think the original trio of us, like, we're all happy enough with you, George. Like, I mean, if we weren't happy with you, we would have kicked you out of the group. Like, the way it goes. Anyway, I mean, that was kind of your year, George. Is there anything else you want to say on it? Like, either of you two?
But although I didn't get some projects done this year, I was doing I was project making. Like, there was stuff going on behind the scenes. There was just stuff not being released. So hopefully you'll see a little more of me in 2026 and beyond, hopefully. So in the little periods where I maybe wouldn't make as many films, wouldn't feature in as many, I was likely working on something else. And so yeah, that should hopefully be coming to the Amateur Animators some point next year. Again, I don't like to make promises on when my projects will come out, because I'm usually very inconsistent. But yeah, that's all I've got to say pretty much.
Well,
if I
George,
could
go on.
sorry.
Oh, sorry. You
I
have
was
a
going to
point.
say, if I could add, I'd say it'd be a great year for George. I think for me personally, I think we had one kind of little hiccup while we were filming Dave Cow. As he tackled me, I kicked him in the face. So that's the most me and George have ever fought, you know.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Or the time where, let's say, you two were arguing about Dave Cow's jacket. Oh, what was it like again? Oh, I wanted this color. No, it's this color,
Oh,
George. Rhydian, put a big skid mark on the back of your jacket.
Yeah, Dave Cow had its moments, the production. But
yeah.
we got there in the end, so you know we can pretty much get through anything.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
that's good proof, like George, I've honestly, like, I couldn't applaud you enough, honestly, from where you were at the start of the year, to so it's been an amazing year. Like, you truly have been the breakout star of the group, George. Now we'll move on to our next member, and I was gonna, I was wondering who I'd pick first, but I suppose since you're here, we'll move on to you next, Rhydian. And I mean, last year ended. I'm not sure how you found the ending of last year, but, like, for you, Rhydian, coming into this year, did it feel like you had a lot to prove?
Um, voice crack there. Yeah, I would say. I mean, what it was last year we had Harry Hill 2, and I'm an Armored Hero, if I'm right.
Yes, and New Avengers 4 as well.
A New Avengers 4 as well, which apparently I have watched, but haven't at the same time. But yeah, yeah, kind of. I mean, I had a bit. I did have a writing credit on the Harry Hill movie too, but in the end, it did go on GT Channel. So yeah, I did kind of have some boots to fill in. Maybe the start of the year, it probably wasn't the best. But I think as we get later on in the year, I've definitely gotten better. I think, well, when I go back and look at my stuff, I've definitely improved, is what I'm gonna say.
Yes.
Hmm.
Well, like, let's look across your year generally. Like, I mean, I know, like, there was never, like, there wasn't anything, in my opinion, which would have been, too much underground level hype, like, like you would
Hmm.
have had in 2024. But you did indeed feature here and there, because you had Peter too early on in the year. Then you
Hmm.
had Peter the Plant in the agenda,
Yeah.
following that, Pat and Kev nonsense in the summer, and
Hmm.
after and you kind of pushed on, I think, in my opinion, a little bit towards the end of the year, like, with the War of the Worlds, the broadcast, and Peter the Plant
Hmm.
in the interview, and you've a load of smaller clips released here and there, and you also released a few singles, and, like, that was kind of the year on your own channel. But I think, there is a point to be made. You've had an amazing year collaboration wise, because you are a big hand in the Aardman show, which has been highly successful on the Amateur Animators, along with
Yeah.
Easy. And you wrote, in what is my opinion as well, one of the best episodes to come from Sonic the Hedgehog TLSMS.
Oh yeah. T- I think as well. I think for TSMS, if I could say on the script and ways, for me it was like, it's a very provable moment that I'm not writing for myself. Like, when you write for yourself, you can kind of just look at it and go, yeah, I know what that looks like. I can just make that. But then, like, as well, you kind of gotta like go around and kind of visualize it for someone else when you're writing it for someone else. So I think that probably set me on a bit of a better path for that one. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
a better pass it is, like, because that I mean, that's arguably been the best, like, that was one of the best episodes of the series, and is, in my opinion, one of my best stop motions I've ever made. So you know it's thanks to you for that, like, and I mean, like I suppose, let's say for myself, I may have pictured you in, let's say, a bigger position than what you actually are in now. But at the same time, I can't be too harsh on you because overall, it was quite a solid year from you for what you needed to do. And
Mm.
we still have, I'm not sure what the state, the opinion on underground is like. Like I believe that was supposed to have been you know rebooted as well this year, but that didn't end up happening. But
Yeah.
sometimes that just happens. I think we talked about it personally the other day that it's very tough. Or that was a hard thing to get out because it wasn't, you didn't go about it, the comeback right. So yeah, but
Yeah.
it's I think it's been I'm overall I'd be happy enough with sure year at the end of the day. George, for you as the outsider, how would you feel about Rhydian's year?
I think you covered most of what I think you said most of what I would say about Rhydian's year. I mean, I think Rhydian, as also you said earlier, that he did a lot of collaborative projects. I think Rhydian was someone who was very easy to work with, and so I think he really thrives in his collaborative projects. And so I think it has been a good year because, as you say, I've done a lot of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, as I said, I joined at the beginning of 2025. I didn't really have much context behind what had gone on the previous years, so I can't really judge based off based off of that. But I think overall, I mean, I had a great time doing stuff with Rhydian.
Mm.
I think he's had some good projects. I'm a big fan of War of the Worlds. I think the Aardman shows are good as well. That's just like naming a few. I think he should be proud of what he's done.
I'm quite happy with it this year, to be honest. I don't like. I say some points I feel like I could have done a bit better, but I think from where the standpoint now is pretty good.
Mm.
I think three of my favorite things I've been involved in this year is one solo project and then two collaborative projects. So the solo one is actually pretty recent. It'd be Peter the Plan in the interview. I really enjoyed doing that, and I know it just felt different to doing everything else we usually do. And then
Yes.
collaborative, Dave Cow. I just enjoy Dave Cow. For me, it was just a bit of like fun I never really get to do, and I got to meet George and Cheesy as well. So, and obviously I might have whacked George in the face a bit too hard, so he might be being a bit too kind to me. But
It comes.
um,
Yeah.
and I think the one also my other favorite one is the album show episode 3. I know it's no successful, but I think that's probably, to me anyway, it's the most collaborative I've been because Peter was in it, and
Yes.
and I was writing most of Peter's lines. So my question I leave you two with is the album show episode 3 the best episode of the album show, or is it the best Peter show? That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, that is a good question.
That's like the Die Hard question, but for the
Yeah.
Amateur Animators.
Wow. That's a question that could incite riots. Like,
Yeah.
please. Uh,
Right, it's being me and Cheesy 1v1 in on Fortnite.
oh man, yeah, 1v1 about that, all right. But yeah, I mean, I know it's funny, Rhydian. I think I would talk, that you're the definition of a lad, who is if I can't beat them, I might as well join them. And that's
That's
because
true.
of how well you seemingly work, with myself, with Cheesy, and with George, like, and it's amazing because you know it's just like we're so different personality wise, like that to be able to go around to all of us, like and work with us amazingly well is like it's that's gift in itself, like to to be, to be your own person is one thing, but to be an amazing collaborator is another. Like, that maybe what you lack for in your solo projects, or even if we have doubts within your own solo channel stuff, we'll always, I think we should always look back, to your collaboration work with us, because that is that's where you truly shine, in my opinion. And yeah, I think overall you had quite a solid year. You also won Brickoligist Animations Voice Actor of the Year, so you must be
Yeah.
doing something right.
Must be doing something right, yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say, on that, you got to find the right labs to work with as well. And I think I've definitely found the right three lads to do it with. So,
Oh,
yes, yes. But anyway, that was kind of, Rhydian's story of the year, lads. Like, I suppose coming back, off maybe a year with, some disappointed people, but other than that, it's been a solid year for, Rhydian. Like, at the end of the day, he had his few good collaborations and he had his few good projects. So I think, I think he used to be happy enough with himself, and I think we're to be happy enough with him. But yeah, that's been your year, Rhydian. And now, lads, we move on. We move on next to Cheesy, who unfortunately couldn't be here with us tonight due to scheduling issues.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I suppose I should ask you. I'll ask both of you, was your opinion on Cheesy, and then I'll properly recap it. But Rhydian, what's been your opinion on Cheesy's year this year?
I think pretty good, to be honest. I mean, yes, yeah, you did kind of help kick off the amateur animators, so that's one thing. Like, because obviously, blah, 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 blah. The first episode of the Almond Show came out this year, and we're already on what, episode 4? No, yeah, we're going to 4 now, because you recently just have the Christmas special. So he's been definitely. I think it's a really good year, to be fair, because then you got all those are like really highly viewed. So
Yeah.
and Tape Together, quite good. So
Yes, yes. I mean, yeah. I mean, what about you, George? Like, as the person who knows Cheesy actually, in real life in the group, what do you make of his year when it comes to filmmaking?
I think it's been pretty solid. I mean, personally, I think working with him, he's someone who really is very motivated and likes to get stuff done. And that's created projects like Tape Together and Dave Cal Locked and Loaded. I had loads of fun doing those with him. I think he's had a solid year. Once again, I think the Aardman Show in particular is a highlight, because obviously that's a very that performed very well on the Amateur Animators. And I think Tape Together, I did really enjoy Tape Together. Maybe slightly biased because I was helping him with it, but either way, I think it was a very solid year for him. I think he's got a lot of things to smile about.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at this generally across. So, like, Cheesy had come off the back, of, let's say, what is arguably one of the greatest projects in amateur animators history, in the form of Harry Hill 2. And, like, that how was he, however was he gonna follow that up, and I suppose this year was quite literally the perfect way he went about doing it. So, like, we didn't see a whole lot from Cheesy at the start of the year, in my opinion. Like, he wrote an episode of Sonic TLSMS, episode 3 of season 2, and if I do say so myself, that is one of the better episodes of the series. So, I'm quite happy with him on there. But he also ventured off and wrote a Peter short, with you, Rhydian, but well, for you more
Well,
so. But
Peter. Yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure we like bringing that up more so than anything.
it's like when you got like uh, a group of friends and all the Peter Shorts group of friends. You got that one friend you never really mentioned to your parents. That's what Peter
Yeah,
Two is.
that's kind of how we see it. Or well, we hope our amateur animators viewers will know anyway from the amount of probes and prods that it's received, and then
Mm.
we move on into the year, lads, and cheesy. What else? What else do we have? Come from cheesy. The Yardman show. That's one thing which kicks off. Under his leadership, and at first, it's kind of more of a parody show, but man, it truly blossomed into something later in the year. Episode one was a really solid starting point, but episode two, three, four, well, the Christmas special more so, they are, in my opinion, they are chef's kiss, when it comes to that style of show. And let's not forget as well, that cheesy was the winner of the Brickoligist Animations Person of the Year award this year, and that is extraordinary. How would you we can I can remember how it was you and him, Rhydian, who thought it was going to be George to win the Person of the Year. How would you feel looking back on his win there?
I'm quite happy he won it. To be fair, he is like from. Sorry, I'm starting a bit, but from what I've seen, it's definitely a lot of perseverance. So I definitely think this. I'm glad. I'm really glad he got it. So
Yeah. I mean, George is arguably the main competitor, to him for the Brickoligist Animations Person of the Year award. How would you feel about conceding this, to your IRL friend, and I mean, it's always something I do wonder, did you fancy yourself to take home the Brickoligist Animations Awards, or were you a tiny bit uncertain of your chance?
I think overall I was aware that, I was aware I had competition. I think all of us, it's safe to say that we've produced some great things, and I think for that reason I wasn't particularly expecting anything. I think I had my moments which could have helped me receive the award, but I'm very happy for him personally. I think it's very well deserved, and I honestly think anyone could be in the discussion to win the award. Really, I think. I wasn't really expecting anything to come my way. It was kind of just, I'm not sure it could go to anyone the way I see it. I think everyone's got something to be happy about this year.
Yeah, I mean, it truly was a competitive Brickologist Animations Awards. So, yeah, anyone, it was actually, I think, it was only one, it was kind of only one decider away, because I think you were all tied on awards. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But cheesy. He just about creeped it, I think. But and you and I, really, and we'll know his journey in filmmaking, and where he came from, is kind of being the main catalyst of this group in the first place, with him and I meeting, and then you coming into the mix, really, and we've known him for a long time, not as long as you, George, but we've known him as the cheesy filmmaker who we know, and he deserves, he's had an amazing journey to get to where he is, and that was him, that was cheesy's year, Forget Not as well, taped together he made, which in my opinion, it's definitely one of the more underrated films in the group. That doesn't get enough praise. Or that isn't nearly talked about enough when it is indeed one of the most solid projects to come from the group. And yeah, there was also, what did he also make? He also made Dave Cow, the first film, like he helped the two of you film this, like, or part of it, I understand anyway. And he also made Dave Cow 2 Locked and Loaded with you, George, or he was the main driving force behind getting the final AA Super Weekend project done. And yeah, like, I suppose if I'm to describe his year, like, it's like he's honestly, it has been phenomenal for him, like, because he is truly, I think he's truly stepped up, into the shoes that he had to fill, like, after Harry Hill 2, and how much of a success that was. And yeah, I think he's proven, he's really, I think he's kind of proven he's the next big thing when it comes to the amateur animators, or the soloists of the amateur animators anyway. And yeah, I couldn't applaud Cheesy enough either, like I could for you two boys. So before we conclude on him, do you two have anything to say on him?
Yeah, I do. If it wasn't for Cheesy, we would have had Davina.
Oh god, yeah. That's a good point.
Well, hang on a second now. Remember, there's someone's career on the line here, Rhydian, if we leak that script.
Well, I'll say how such, but all I'm gonna say is if it wasn't for him, let's just say Davina would have been something.
Two words for you. April 1st.
Oh.
Ooh.
Anyway, yeah, that's that all you want to say, boys?
I just want to thank him, really, because, as I say, he is a massive driving force. Because, for example, I had to come up with a Dave Cow script for the Super Weekend, and he helped me. I mean, he came up with the main script, really, and he came round to my house and we did some filming. And I think without him, I don't know if I could have got it done. I mean, it's the same with a lot of the stuff we've done taped together, and we both worked well together for that. And Dave Cow, Locked and Loaded, he helped with that. No, not Locked and Loaded. Hyson Hoover, sorry. But I think, yeah, I just want to thank him because, yes, he's been generally very helpful. And yeah, I can't really thank him enough. I think without him, I don't know if we'd have got some stuff done, honestly. Well, certainly me, I wouldn't have got some stuff done.
Yeah. I mean, you're quite right, George. And yeah, I suppose like there's him, and coming on to me now, and like when it comes to Brickoligist Animations this year, lads, like I already did a summary, in ways because I did it. I did for my birthday, so I don't think we'll spend too long on myself, like, but if I am, just to go over the year, like, for myself, like, we kicked off the year with TLSMS season 2, I'm quite happy with the way that went, with you and Cheesy writing on it, Rhydian, and yeah, like in between that, was my rugby short, and of course Daredevil, which wasn't exactly my finest moment ever, but I know I think it's fine at the end of the day, but it should have been better. There was that, TLSMS then concludes, after a few episodes with the season break and all, and then there was the Tales project, which released exactly before Stevel, and I know that's not talked about a whole lot, but I'm happy enough with it because it was actually quietly successful, raking in 156 views. But during the summer, then we had the the new Avengers and the Sonic crossover, which, like, to do that was an amazing achievement, after working, more than 4 years on the new Avengers saga, more than 3 years on TLSMS, then I had, an interesting venture in Lenny Sinclair on the Amateur Animators. Coming back to my channel, we got more serious with the Wolverine show, and I was afraid for how that should do, because I thought it was too scary for Brickoligist Animations, but boys, I was proven wrong, with some of the numbers, and some of the feedback I received on it, which was amazing. And yeah, truly a wonder 5 episode series. And we had more Lego Iron Man Armored Hero with the remaster, and that was received well, and I'm happy enough with that. And of course, we had the Amateur Animators Super Weekend, and we'll talk more about the Amateur Animators, boys, when we get on to that segment, which will be, after this now. But yeah, I'm very happy with my K-pop Demon Hunters project, which was a bit of a, unexpected success. And yeah, then we capped off the year with the start of the new Avenger Saga Season 3, Episode 1. And yeah, going into 2026 now, with everything, I know how I feel about my year, but I want to ask you boys, George, I want to ask you starting off, because I know what Rhydian thinks a lot as well, I will come to you, Rhydian, but I want to ask you, George, because you are, it's kind of, not to blow my own trumpet a bit, but when you are, let's say, the new guy coming into the group, and then you see, let's say, someone like myself who is very, very experienced, very established, how did you find my year this year personally?
I think your year was very successful, because I think you've got something that's really special and really good. Is that you are very consistent with what you always, whenever you say you're going to do something, you always do it. And you've always got things coming out left, right, and center. And you always have a plan. You seem very structured and very established. So I think that year is a perfect demonstration of how you've kind of sort of, I don't know how to say it, found your feet, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think, yeah, you've definitely had a very, very solid year. You've had some amazing projects. And yeah, I think, as I say, you're very structured the way you make your films. You know exactly what you're doing. And so, yeah, I think overall that gives you an amazing product. And yeah, in overall, a very good year.
Yeah. What about you, Rudy? And what, I have a better idea of what you think probably, but at the same time, I'd like to hear us anyway, maybe, the viewers like to hear us. So what do you think?
I think it was a really good year, to be fair. The Wolverine show, is definitely, well, I knew it was going to happen. I think the other two lads did as well. But, I think what we were thinking, and then to what it came out to be, I think it definitely was a surprise to me. TLSMS, I think that wrapped up pretty well this season 2 did. I'm glad it was episode 2, to be fair, so that might have a bit of bias on that. But yeah, I think it was a great year overall, really.
Yeah, this was the year I dreamed about in 2023, when we were originally together, but then things kind of fell apart, and we all know about the big break, and we know everything around it, how I'll never truly tell the story of why things went down the way they did, but in ways this was this was the most important year, I think, for me, because you know I'd never gone for 2 solid years straight running, on YouTube, because with Silver Centurion content, my channel, like my original channel, that got snapped down within less than 6 months. What else? Brickoligist Animations, like the original era, was snapped down in less than a year and a half. Well, not snapped down like YouTube, because my original channel was terminated, but with Brickoligist Animations, it just got it kind of imploded, and the big break happened. In 2024, I came back and I had a very successful year, but 25 was it's a lot to prove, because if I bottled this chance, was I ever going to have a successful 2 years running on YouTube? And safe to say, I took my chance as well. And yeah, here we are, and 2025 has arguably been my most successful year on YouTube ever. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the way this turned out, and yeah, cheers, boys. And I couldn't thank you enough, honestly. I hope you I posted a community post earlier, thanking everybody, and your guys' names are in a special place on it. So yeah,
Thank you.
that's that's been the way it's gone. And I suppose, yeah, we move on now, overall to the amateur animators. And yeah, what a year it's been for the whole group, because obviously we've discussed the success for our own personal, solo channels, and our solo careers. It's truly been, a great year for the AA overall, because like I said, we've already done well, but also the channel has gone to an amazing place. It's in a lot better health than it was this time last year, wasn't it, Rhydian?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, last year, what was it? It was the first Peter, which obviously kicked everything off, and then you had was it Sean Weathercock?
Yes.
Yeah, we had one good one, and one really and the other one was the start of it. But I think you know as this year progresses, I said, there's a lot of, if you look at it, everything's gotten better. But you can kind of see that at the A, because I think as well, I think that teamwork skills have kind of improved, or anyway, how we work has kind of improved, kind of collaborating with the AA.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just looking across this, with Peter the Plan 2 kicked off the year. Well, it was actually the Aardman Show episode 1 which kicked off the year. Then, followed by the Peter the Plan 2, then, by Stevel, then by the Aardman Show episode 2, A Duty Detour, the Aardman Show episode 3, Lenny Sinclair, Dave Cow Heists and Hoovers, and then the year kind of breaks up, and we're like, is there going to be any amateur animators projects, for the end of the year? And then, of course, we all come back swinging with the Super Weekend, and boys, what a way that was to end the year. But overall, George, how do you feel about, how do you feel about the amateur animators year as a whole?
I think it's been really, really solid, because I remember when I first heard about the amateur animators, I checked on the page and it was looking quite barren. It looked quite dire. And I think this was the year we really brought, sorry.
Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you. I think this is the year we really brought it to life as a group. We had a load of great moments, and I think it's in a really, really healthy, solid position. And so I'm very happy that it's turned out that way. Yeah, I'm very each person has contributed a lot to it, and I think that shows in the fact that it's now more alive than it's ever been, really, and I'm very happy that it's that way.
Yes. I mean, what about you, Rhydian? What have you thought about this year and the amateur animators? And I think it's a good question for you, like, because you've done a lot of work on it, alongside Cheesy in particular.
Yeah, like George said, very live channel. I think we've made some really great stuff on it. Like two personal favorites, like I said earlier, is the Amateur Animators 2 and Dave Cow. But if I were to give something for everybody that I found really entertaining, for me, so Cheesy's would be episode 2. Not episode 2, sorry, episode 3. George, it'd probably be the collaboration with Dave Cow. And then for you, Jim, it'd probably be Lenny Sinclair. So
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think those for me anyway are quite highlight moments.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just honestly, it's been like, if it's been, a lot better than, it was, like it was fairly humble beginnings when we first started the group, with just the three of us, like, and like, now we've expanded to 4 and things have gotten a bit better. But like, at the same time, I don't think, I don't even think 4 is enough, lads, and to those watching, like, we may, we may be potentially looking at a few things within the amateur animator group, because, to sustain ourselves, for next year. And like, it's to do with the issues of content drought in particular. But yeah, maybe we could be sitting here, with, another member or two next year. But, we'll have to see, boys. But other than that, it has been a great year, like for the 4 of us, all of us, and yeah, I couldn't thank you guys enough, for such a brilliant ride, like with Cheesy's technical ability, your versatility, really, and and George, the imagination you've nearly brought back to us, like it's an amazing, it's like talking to you, Matt, it's like it's an amazing environment to work in, like because even these 3 boys, like they are my friends, and I haven't even met 2 of them in real life. Like these are these are the people who you can rely on in life no matter what, and like these are the people who will help you when you're at your lowest point. So, boys, it's been an amazing year and all with the amateur animators, but like, I couldn't thank you enough for it in general. So, I applaud you all for it.
Thank you, Jim. That's very nice. Yeah.
I wouldn't disregard you from the amateur animators either. You definitely had a part as well. So I'll give you an applaud as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I started off the year not knowing what I was going to do with myself, and I discovered the amateur animators, and it's just been an absolute blast. I can't really praise it enough. It's just been so fun. It's really made my 2025. Like, the reason it's so good is partly due to the amateur animators, or largely due to the amateur animators, because I've just had the most fun meeting you and just making projects. And I'm very thankful to have joined. And if you told 2024 me that I have like-minded people who are so driven, so inspired, and all the above, he wouldn't believe you. But yes. I'm very happy to be part of the group, and it's been a great year. I've loved it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like what we look towards 2026, that's been our 2025, lads. But looking down the barrel of 2026 now, like like we're just after closing the first quarter of the 21st century, and yeah, there should be some more questions asked, which you know, I'll ask you now, really, and what's next for the amateur animators? Do you think, like, because I hope my viewers know that obviously it's going to be new Avengers, with the arrival of season 3. But yeah, what's next for the group? You think, Rhydian?
Um, lads, would I be able to make an announcement here then? It's only a small one, but
Yeah,
I think
go ahead. Go ahead.
so. Me and Jim, we're like the best of buds, even though I'm Welsh and Irish. Welsh and Irish, so I'm Welsh and these Irish, as you know. So you think we wouldn't mix very well, but we've come up with something, and I think we're all going to enjoy it. It's called Tears for Beers, and it's it's a story about the band Tears for Beers, and us. What I'm going to tell you for now is like actually, I'll tell you one more thing. It's like a kind of documentary spoof series, so look out for that next year. But I won't say any more on that then.
Yes, yes, and it involves particularly Rhydian and I, but even George and Cheesy in parts, tapping into a more musical ability, from a bunch of filmmakers. So
Hmm.
we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, you know what, like, lads, like I said, I wouldn't. You know, I don't think we've a whole lot left more to discuss. Like, are there any 2 points? Like, I mean, like, I suppose if we look back, on the year, lads, that you know, it was, overall, like, it was a year with, ups and downs for everybody, like, as it is always, and like, if you even just look within the group, like, there are, like, there are, maybe some shortcomings, maybe some failings, that, that we're not proud of, like, like there's a few projects, talking about it to Rhydian yesterday that didn't see the light of day, unfortunately, and whether or not you'll ever see them, it's a good question, but it was also a year, with plenty of moments to be proud of, like and I think it truly did remind me this year just how much like especially the latter few months before December kind of reminded me, how much I had to be thankful for this year. So yeah, that's kind of been 2025, I think, generally for for everyone here at Amateur Animators Productions. Do you boys have any points left to bring up or what?
I think, yeah, I think there's definitely been signs of growth in the amateur animators. Like, yes, there've been hiccups here and there, but overall, I think we've learned a lot. And if you're learning and making changes and improving what you like doing, there's not much else you can really ask for. And I think we've definitely seen improvements. We've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think we've learned a lot. I certainly have learned so much from the amateur animators. And it's funny how such a small project can really teach you things. So yeah, that's what I've got to say.
Yes, yes.
I'll say you can enjoy the amateur animators as Jim always says to me. If you're a bum like me or a very jobful and handy man like Jim, you can just sit down and enjoy it. So
Yeah, no matter if you're a 6 foot giant, if you're like an 80s boy band teen pop star, if you're your typical English geezer or you're a midget Irish leprechaun, you can enjoy the amateur animators.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So you know what? Thank you everybody, for viewing this episode of the Brickoligist Animation Show. Boys, thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on your like 6th, 7th episode this year. Hopefully we'll leave that
Okay,
behind
I
in,
fully did there, but
No, don't worry. We're gonna leave that behind now. This year, once you log off, never mention it again. Just lads. Okay, couldn't thank you enough. Between coming on the pod, and supporting me, no matter what this year. So, boys, thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, everyone.
And Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year. Yes. Happy New Year.
Hold on a second there. I just gotta pause it. And yeah, I mean, other than that, yeah. So I suppose we'll gather ourselves all now. So I'm I'm Jim or Brickoligist Animations, Rhydian TheRealHamburger, George,
I'm just George.
Yeah, George.
And Cheesy. We don't talk about Cheesy's name. We'd all we are the amateur animators, and we're on the Brickoligist Animation Show, and we'd like to thank you all for your support this year, no matter what. And here is to a wonderful 2026. That is all from the Amateur Animators and the Brickoligist Animations Podcast Show this year. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
2026.
Yeah, let's. Shall we say something that's 3, 2, 1. Bye. Wait, we're ready. 3. Hold on a second. 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's go, lads. Thank you all for watching.